Thanks for joining us today on CCnDoc Talk, where we talk about everything under the sun. You never know quite what you're going to get, but you'll always be entertained.
Hello and welcome to CCnDoc Talk. I know it's been a while since we've posted because we are busy trying to let life not get in the way of life, but life does get in the way of life. And for that matter, how do you stay positive? So I think today let's talk about how do you stay positive? And is it possible to stay positive 100% of the time? Is it possible to not let life get in the way of life?
Especially when you're trying to live.
Yes, exactly.
When you're trying to make the most out of life and, be alive. Yeah.
Right, and you spend a lot of time being and doing, and then it kind of gets all mixed together. And so, let's focus on staying positive throughout all of this. What are your thoughts on that, Cece?
Well, I think to answer your first question, no, I don't think anybody can be positive 100% of the time. I don't even think those people with positivity in their top 5 Strengths Finder themes could be positive 100% of the time. I think that's an impossible task. We're human. And there's so much going on in the world.
Because if I don't feel positive, then I feel guilty that I don't feel positive.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So then you feel bad because you're not positive enough, or because somebody's more positive than you, and then, we're
this is right? A vicious cycle.
The destroyer of all joy is comparison, right? So no.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
The destroyer of all joy is comparison.
That's so true.
No, nobody can be positive all the time. We can only do the best that we can, and we can only do our best every day. And yesterday's best may not be the same as tomorrow's best, and it may not be the same as last week's best. We just got to try to do our best, honestly. And we've had a couple of rough weeks. It's been tough to stay super positive. Well, me anyway. It's been tough for me to stay positive completely and totally without fail the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I mean,
are you feeling positive now?
I am. Yes.
All right, but you kind of had to go through a low. It's like a pendulum that swings, right? And if it just stays in the middle, you don't get the highs or the lows. It just basically is not moving at all.
Yeah.
But in order to get the highs, sometimes you get the lows, so the pendulum swings. So to be super positive, sometimes comes with being, not necessarily super negative, but just a reprieve or a retreat or, antisocial or whatever the case may be, to then the positivity can come back, or at least process time of some sort when that pendulum swings.
Right. I tell people all the time, I am not an inherently positive personality, but I'm also not an inherently negative personality.
Don't tell people that. They think you're positive all the time with
that
great smile.
I know they do, but that's the reality. And what's really even more interesting is that I think I was always I always referred to myself as like more of a positive realist, right? And then, cancer happened, and then I kind of had to make a choice, right? Like I literally was put in a position where I had to make a choice. How was I going to approach that? And I think that changed how I am positive today versus how I may have been positive in the past. I definitely think I look at things more from the glass half full perspective now.
Or like, I got this, I can do this.
Yeah, I think I have more confidence, more resilience, maybe a little bit more optimism and a little less cynicism most of the time, but not always. Like I'm still guilty of looking at even though the whole scan says, negative for cancer, no evidence of disease, but there's a couple of those little things that the radiologist brings up that you've never seen on a scan before and you've never seen in a report, and you're like, holy shit, where did that come from? So you immediately focus on
So you got the 99% that's, okay, this is good, but that 1% and how we can catastrophize that 1%.
Oh my God.
So, but we really want to focus on that 99%.
Right, totally. And somebody said the other day, and I just included this in a recent blog post that I did on Scanxiety, is that, the negative is what we are ancestrally programmed to focus on, because, our ancestors, as cave people, trying to escape the attack of the saber-toothed tiger, they were always on guard, always waiting the next attack or the next potential, life-threatening thing. So it's that whole fight or flight thing.
And it's in our DNA.
Yeah.
That we,
So that
flight,
whole
or freeze.
fight, flight, or freeze thing on steroids. Right. And now we don't need that anymore, but our ancestral DNA says it's still there. And so we don't
and it does. I mean, it creates the cortisol release and adrenaline. It makes you run when you need to run, so we still need it today. And so that's why it's still part of that. You sent out a fabulous text to somebody a few days ago, and it was just apropos. Do you want to read this text you sent?
Yeah, so this actually came from somebody's Instagram. Sweatpants and Coffee is the name of the Instagram. And it says, "Me, today I will be calm and present in each precious jewel-like moment." Then it says, "Me to me. Drink coffee until your brain vibrates and you can see into other dimensions. Multitask, but also immediately forget what you're doing. I'm a delightful bag of contradictions." That is definitely me on any given day.
And so even when you it kind of, it was a different saying here, but even when you have great intention, today I'm going to be calm and present and positive, and then all of a sudden your other me steps in and goes, "Yeah, but we have shit to get done. We have stuff to do. You can't just be positive all day. We got to get stuff done."
I know. Here's me. I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to sit in the power. I'm going to commune with spirit.
Wow, that sounds like really peaceful and lovey. And
I'm going to have a very nice cup of coffee on the patio, and I'm going to take in nature, and I'm going to be super grounded, and I'm going to go do something good for my body, and and then the next thing is we look at the calendar and we have, 4 things scheduled.
Or it's dinner time.
And I'm like, fuck, well, there went that plan. So it's a good thing I had that 5 minutes of peace and quiet in the morning to think about how it was going to be. Setting my intention for positivity.
You step outside and the wind is blowing and it's cold, and
exactly.
It's like, oh, okay, so much for just sitting on the patio where it's nice and warm and not breezy, but
exactly.
Yeah.
So positivity. How do we stay positive? I don't.
I'm going to go back.
Maybe you have some
I think the best thing.
How do I stay positive, Amy? You tell me how I stay positive. I'll tell you how you stay positive.
Get out of the crazy tree. No, for me, it's gratitude. It comes back to gratitude, right? What am I grateful for today? I'm grateful whether I got stuff done or didn't get stuff done. I'm so grateful that, I have today. And, if I look into the world of gratitude, there's a lot of positivity there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I was just writing another blog post where I was talking about gratitude, and I was talking about Michael J. Fox and his level of gratitude. And I think people have heard me say this before, how much his perspective on gratitude influenced my journey. And I agree with that, and I wake up every day grateful to be alive, to be here, because absolutely. I know that I'm
grateful that you're alive and here today too.
Thank you. I mean, and I recognize that everybody knows that they could maybe not be here tomorrow, but I think, some of us have definitely seen that up close and personal. And so, to be here and to be alive every morning when I get up is like, cool, I woke up today. Like, it's a good day. And so that, that's a definitely good start to the day. And then honestly, I really think part of it too is just being able to, even if it's a busy day, to have time for reflection for me, and also to be able to do something that I love in the day. And believe it or not, I actually do love to do social media posts, because it's fun.
Thank goodness you love that stuff.
I know, I do. I love it because I love to connect with people that way. And I love to kind of share the fun stuff. Like I shared a chicken dancing video today, and it's fun and it's funny, and going back, and I get to relive the experience too. So that part's fun. And then, really being able to kind of regroup with you during the day. And, we have our hour of TV that we get in at night before we fall asleep. And, that's kind of nice.
So the kind of moments.
Yeah.
Moments throughout the day of things that give you joy, which then reignites that positive and, that positive attitude.
That's a really good way to put it. Like every single moment in the day may not be positive, but as long as you have more positive moments than negative moments, or more positive than neutral moments, I think you're on the right track, right?
And is that the goal?
Yeah, maybe that's the goal. Like having more positive moments than negative or neutral moments.
Yeah, things that make you happy, that you're excited about, that you're positive, you're on the upside of the negative curve.
Right.
So,
and while it's not always easy, I mean, I'll be the first person to tell you, I think everybody deserves to have a little pity party once in a while. I think it's okay. It's perfectly normal, natural.
But the only difference between a rut and a grave is the depth of the hole. So it's okay to be in a rut, but get out of it.
You can fill in a rut.
You can fill in a rut, yeah.
But a grave is a lot harder to fill.
So dig deep. Get out of there.
Get out of there. Well, and you did something the other day with a client that I thought was just really, really powerful. And you did just like this 1 minute thing with a client. And I would love for you to share that, because it's a perfect way to, you know, if you do feel like you're kind of going down into that hole or the slump, where you can just take 1 minute and kind of reframe and regroup and get yourself out of that. You don't, she's looking at me like, I don't know what I did.
What did I do with the client the other day?
So you set a timer for 1 minute. And during that 1 minute, you had them close their eyes. Do you remember this?
Yes.
All right,
yeah. I was thinking a different client.
You do it.
Just carry on.
No, you do it. Because I don't remember exactly what you said.
I think it's just, close your eyes for 1 minute and you have silence, and for your brain to acknowledge. It was all about positive affirmations for yourself for what happened that day.
Exactly.
And the minute was up, and this person didn't even know that he's like, it's like, I didn't even know that you were there. And he said the time could have gone on for 10 minutes. It was just such a peaceful thing.
Yeah.
And it was a wonderful experience.
So it's 1 minute.
It was 1 minute
out of the
to just
day.
Pause and reflect, and positive affirmations.
So set a timer for 1 minute, close your eyes, sit just quietly, and you can think of what you're grateful for. You can think of
what went
give
well
yourself
today?
kudos in that time. I mean, if everybody could just sit for 1 minute and think to themselves how beautiful they are, how wonderful they are, how much they contribute to the world, how much their light shines.
And
with
it doesn't
other
even
people.
have to be grandiose things. It could be very simple things. It's like, I really like my haircut. I like my hair today.
It could be I got out of bed and
I'm
put
so
a little
proud I
laundry
made
in.
it out of bed today.
Yeah. I did the dishes. I ate breakfast. It can be really,
Just
really simple
moments.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I loved that suggestion. I think that's a great way to stay positive. I need to do that more often, for sure.
All right. On that note, anything else you want to say about being positive, staying positive, and kind of wraps into gratitude? But I think that's a huge piece of it.
I really don't know that we gave like all of the ways that we stay positive. But again, I don't think that for everybody that's an inherent thing, but I do think everybody has that ability if they just maybe be conscious of it and have
to aspire
intention.
That,
yeah. Sometimes, maybe sometimes it is 90% aspiration and 10%, actual doing. I'm sure there was a word that rhymed with aspiration there, but I couldn't think of it.
Imagination, no.
Yeah. So aspire to be positive. Start there. Aspire to be positive. And then do that.
Positive in a way that feeds your soul, not in a snarky, sarcastic way.
Totally. Yeah.
So soul-filling positivity.
Absolutely. Using that those really positive words that feed your mind and your soul, because your subconscious hears that negative stuff even
if you're saying it to somebody else.
And even if you're joking. So
right.
Yeah, you got to use the positive statements.
Go with positive.
You are awesome.
Remember that saying? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Well,
use it on yourself.
Yeah, start there, all across the board. Huh?
Yeah. And you know what? I do have one other one.
Okay.
Speaking of that, I am huge on affirmations. So I have an entire notebook now of affirmations. And whenever I think of something, especially if something stresses me out or gets me anxious, I immediately now figure out, how do I reframe that? Because again, your subconscious hears that. So I figure out, how do I reframe that? And then I try to repeat the positive affirmation at least 3 times to then negate the one negative thought I had. But now I write them down. But I write them down.
Yeah.
So, so last week's Scanxiety, right? So, I am healthy. So instead of worrying about, am I still in remission? I'm like, I am healthy. And then I go write that down somewhere so that I have it captured. And then, sometimes I even go back and I just, start at the beginning of my affirmation notebook and I just start reading those out loud to myself. And I think that's helpful. So affirmations would be
That's a great suggestion.
Really big one.
That's a great. I am safe. I am healthy.
I am well.
I am wise.
Yeah. I am at ease.
I know how to finish this project.
Yes. Yes. I am happy to be here.
And I am happy to be here. And I'm happy that you're here.
And we're happy that you all are here. So go out and do some positive things and say some positive things to yourselves and see how it transforms you.
Sounds like a wonderful, positive experience.
Absolutely.
Have a great day.
Thanks for tuning in to CCnDoc Talk. We'd love for you to follow us on social media at CCnDoc. That's CCnDoc. And you can visit our website at CCnDoc.com. We also take monthly donations to support this broadcast if you're so inclined. We'd love to hear your comments, suggestions, and questions, and we'll do our best to respond. Thanks, and have a fantabulous day.